Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Charlitas, another episode. Your favorite podcast in the Pacific Northwest region. I'm one of your hosts. I'm Luis, and to my right we have.
I'm Jair.
And to my left,
I'm Sam.
I'm Pamela.
And I'm Alma.
Just like always, we want to give a disclaimer at the beginning of the episode. We're not experts. These are just our personal experiences. This is just the stuff that we've been through, and we hope that you can relate to it. And if you can't, that you can at least get to know us a little bit better. Today's episode is it's episode 6, and we're gonna be talking about graduation from high school / college. Right, both. Okay, yeah. Oh, right. So for like a little intro question or icebreaker question, oh my God, it's hard to look at the board. Our favorite / worst subject in / class / grade. Right?
We didn't want to limit ourselves.
I don't know. I didn't think of mine, so somebody else go if you already know it.
Okay. Mine is gonna go. It's kind of both high school and college, and has to be anatomy.
That was your favorite? Oh, that was your favorite class. My favorite class, I liked chemistry because, I low-key slate that. I'm not even going to lie.
Light work.
I low-key slate that.
My favorite grade was kindergarten. All we did was arts and crafts, and I loved it.
My favorite or worst? Do you already know yours?
I have some.
Go say.
Making gingerbread houses in 5th grade was fire. Even though it's just gonna get stale and no one's gonna eat it. And then maybe in college, I'm pretty bad at it, but probably manufacturing processes where we learned about how different stuff is manufactured. Whoa. And then we actually get to use to learn to know how to do those processes. It's hard. I'm terrible at it, but it was fun.
My favorite or my worst class would probably have to be physics for sure. Physics in college. Favorite subject would probably be probably fluid dynamics in college. Oof. I was not good at it. Don't want to say I'm an expert at it, but it was probably by far the most interesting. Shout out to Dr. Solovitz, Professor Solovitz.
And Dr. Kim.
Dr. Kim.
Wow. Okay.
I said arts and crafts, and you guys are yeah.
I said gingerbread houses.
But then you said manufacturing something. By the time that this episode will be out, we will all have been graduated.
Well, not all of us, but
not all of us.
Not all of us.
We'll get into that.
Yeah, we'll get into that. But we'll all have been graduated from high school and from college.
Yes. Yep.
And for Alma, Jair, Luis, and I, college graduation will be our quote unquote first in-person actual ceremony, because we were part of the 2020 high school class, which is when COVID happened. So
it was a drive-through.
Womp womp. We had a drive-through ceremony.
We got our cap and gown. I remember that. And then COVID hit. Y nos quedamos ahí with nuestro cap and gown in our houses. We tried the drive-through graduation, but that sucked. I didn't like it.
Yeah, it just wasn't the same experience.
I remember saying to the principal, because he said, congratulations. I was like, oh, thank you, you too. And I was like, wait, I still think about that. I'm so embarrassed.
It keeps you up at night.
Yes.
Yeah, and I know so I mean, I think we're mostly all excited for this upcoming graduation. Just because it will be our first ceremony, and we're all first gen, so it's kind of a big deal. Just a little bit. And
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were gonna say something.
No, I mean, like, yeah, for sure. Yeah, it is. Yeah, we didn't have that graduation experience, or like just that overall, that like senior year experience that like everybody else has, or well, unless you were around our time too. But but like the prom and like senior parties, and then like the obviously the graduation, getting to walk on the stage and all that stuff. Yeah, ours was definitely weird. Obviously, a lot of like kid people our age can relate to that experience.
The senior party.
Yeah, that never occurred. But yeah, and then now we're here, 4 years later or so, give and change, and we graduated. And I know one of the things that we wanted to talk about on the episode was just to kind of go through graduation, but also go through like just college in general, or like
The college experience.
the college experience. Why don't we start with like the choice that we made to go to the college that we went to? Why don't we start there? I guess, well, all of us are almost all of us are basically all going to WSUB right now. But I don't know, what about you, like individually? I guess it'd be cool to like know how you guys came up to the decision to actually go there.
Yeah, I think we're really lucky to be living in a place where we have college and like a university so close to us. So, when it came down to it, like I remember senior year, there was, we got the chance to go look at other colleges and other universities, and like we applied to all of these, and I don't know, I guess for me it came down to financially, like what was the best option, because I know if I leave further away from home, like not only do I have to pay for tuition, but now I have to add dorm and like food and other stuff, which just adds up more. Y pues like, yeah, I had, there's financial aid, but like, financial aid wouldn't cover it all. So it just came to it being financial. And one of the things for me was like that I had just started building like a support system here. And I was like scared if I moved, I have to start again. And it's just going to be so much harder because I want to be alone. And I was like, if I stay here, aquí va a estar bien. Like that just, now that I reflect back on it, like, did I limit myself? Maybe just a little, yeah. But was it a good choice? It was. I think it was a good choice.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I regret it. I don't know. I think it's hard to tell right now.
For sure.
Well, my experience was sort of like Sam's. It came down to financially. And that just, to me, in the moment, seemed like the best option. I mean, it also had what I was studying for, which is just biology. There wasn't really much to it either. It was just financially, and that just seemed like the best option. So I went there.
Yeah.
I got into University of Portland, and I wanted to go to that one, but I was like, it's kind of tough.
Yeah.
Y no manejo, so.
Still.
So that's good. Let's not talk about that, but yeah. Transportation was going to be.
Yeah.
For me, well, mine's a little long. I don't know if you want to go.
Okay, yeah. I don't know. I mean, I wasn't planning on going to college until like later in my high school years. So then it was either like, it was only gonna have to be schools in the state because of WASFA. I don't have like federal aid because of my immigration status. So obviously it had to be a school here. And even then, like, getting accepted into like UW was cool, like was really dope and like all of that. But I knew that like financially what would be best, like for me and my family at the time, was gonna be to just go to WSUV. And it had mechanical engineering. It's not like I joined it like knowing like fully that I wanted to be a mechanical engineer, but I was like, if I'm gonna go to college, this is the only thing that I want to do. So then it was from there. It was just like I'm gonna go. I'm go there, and it's been something so far.
For me, the decision mainly came up based on like what schools had my like, you know, desired major. I wanted to study either mechanical engineering or like aerospace engineering, also known as like aeronautical or something. And then I was like, which one should I go to? And then I don't remember exactly why, but I decided to go to UW. And then, you know, I got in, but then literally like the first, or like during orientation, they're like, oh, meet with your advisor and all that. And then I met with her, and then she's like, oh yeah, you have to like get accepted into the engineering program. You could either like wait like 2 years, but you probably won't get in. Or or like you had to apply before when you were applying for the school. I was like, dang. And then literally like the first thought in my mind was like, I gotta go back. And then I was like, I don't know, like I kind of would like to try to see if I would have gotten in. So I guess that was the reason why I also left. Terrible decision though. And then, you know, I went there for like a year.
Yeah.
And then I was like, it was the transition from like high school to college was hard, but also was a little like kind of comforting because it was like, you know, from your couch.
Yeah.
Which was kind of nice. And then, but at the same time, it was kind of like a little lonely because it was on Zoom and like it was kind of hard to like meet new people and all that.
Yeah.
And then that counselor was not nice. I like tried emailing her once, and she's like, "Oh, make sure you include your student ID in it." I was like, "Damn, okay, my fault."
Oh, that's why you include your student ID on the email. I always notice that when you be sending emails and I see your student ID, I'm like, I never do that. I never had that.
She scarred me.
Damn. Shouts out to you.
But yeah, that like advisor too was not very helpful. She was also like, oh, think what else you want to do. I was like,
yeah.
I don't know what else I would want to study.
This is it.
It's either like engineering or like a trade, and it's like getting out of college.
Yeah.
And then I was like, yeah, I gotta get out of here. So I was like, I'll go to WCUV. And then, ironically enough, aerospace engineering is pretty much kind of the same as mechanical engineering. It's just a more like specific area, at least from my understanding. And then, once I got to WCV, it was like way different. I remember like another friend like sent me like the email to the advisor, and she was like they were both super nice. They're like, oh yeah, here are the classes you have to take since you're already into the program because you took like calc and all that.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the whole like, I guess like culture was nice, especially with those two advisors, which are like goated.
Yeah. I think definitely like granted, like UW is a much bigger, and also we're on the Vancouver campus. It's like a satellite campus, so it's not the main WSU. But like UW is like a big campus. So like, you know,
I'm just a number.
You're just a barcode. You're just a barcode.
I'm not even a student ID because I didn't list that.
Yeah, you're just a series of numbers to them. No, I don't know, maybe, but yeah, that is also something that worth mentioning, that like WSUV is not like, you know, your typical big university. It's just a small university with like about like maybe 4,000 students, maybe.
I have no idea.
I don't know, but they just got that new building.
5,000 students. Yeah, they just had a new building, so they're expanding. So like it's getting bigger, but you know, it's still like compared to
I mean, compared to UW, it's
compared to UW, it's you know, really really freaking small.
I also think it you know, that first year, like those first few months after COVID happened, when COVID was happening and when we were in quarantine and all of that, you know, we all did our first year of college online, and that was hard. That was you know, Zoom every single day. I mean, we finished high school with Zoom, then we started college with Zoom, and to be like in a new place, in a new city, like by yourself because you have to be in isolation because of COVID, you know. I bet that was tough, Jair.
Oh, side thing. We actually, fun fact, we dropped off Jair at UW when on his first day there, we actually drove all the way to Seattle to drop him off. So, you know,
We were
saw-
ready to say goodbye to him, and then he comes back a year later.
He's like a year later. He's like, I'm back.
Yeah, so, you know, glad to have him back.
But yeah, that whole, like, I guess, like, leaving from home and stuff. I mean, depending on the person, but it wasn't for me.
Right.
And Pamela is getting now in that moment where she has to make the choice too.
Yeah, making the choice. I always knew I was going to go to college. Like, since I was little, I knew I was going to go to college. It was just a question of where. And I remember from a very young age, I don't know why. It was so random, but I had made the decision that I wanted to go to Gonzaga University because at the time, I wanted to be a lawyer. And because my mom had mentioned, you have the attitude for it. Like, you like arguing and you, like, don't shut up. And I was like, I'm going to be a lawyer. But that was when I was little, back when I didn't know that immigration status played a big role and the career choices that I could partake in. And as I grew older, I started seeing how staying closer to home might be the better option. My parents also played a big influence in that. I don't know about you guys, but my parents were very like, don't go far away from home because if you do, you're going to lose like your goals and you're going to vas a volverte así de fiestera and you're not going to go to school and you're not going to pay attention. It's going to be a wasted opportunity. Stay home. And so I was very discouraged to leave home, even though for the longest time I said, I want to go away for college and I want to experience that. And I want to venture out and experience new things. So my parents definitely played a role in it, whether they know it or not. But I have made the decision to stay here at WSUV because wherever I go, I know I'm going to be very good at it. So it doesn't matter where I go. I'm going to be a rock star. And WSUV has amazing programs. So I have decided to stay here, and the financial aid is good for me as an undocumented student as well. So I'm going to be joining y'all.
When we all like are WSU alumni, and then when we see each other out in the wild, we're gonna be like, "Go Cougs!" Because you know how they're always like, "Go Cougs." No, nobody. I'm excited. I'm gonna be like, "Go Cougs!"
Maybe. You know,
I'll keep my parking sticker. To let people
they
know.
give you a parking sticker. What's it called? You know, something that Pame just brought up, that the fact that like being undocumented or being just Latinos in general in college is definitely been like, and also we're all, I think we've already mentioned this, but we're mechanical engineers, education, biology. So like we're all different majors. Like, but I definitely think we've all had different experiences in our like respective majors regarding like just being Latinos in higher education. And like that's something that we kind of want to talk about just to give you guys a little bit more perspective into our experience. You know, I don't know who would like to just kind of like start talking about your experience as a Latino in your field.
Yeah. We could also kind of like take it back to like even before going into college and like
For
how
sure.
Jair was saying the whole like application process. We're all first gen. Like it was hard to even know where to start, know where to look for. Like, yes, you can, there's advisors and like that's their, that's their job, but like they're also attending so many students at the same time, or sometimes they're just not very well versed, especially when it came to like us being undocumented. Like we would go and they'd just be like, I don't know, and we'd be like, I don't know either. Like this is why we came to you guys. And so I think, that even from then, that's where it started. And then once we got in, once we started our college courses,
Well,
it's hard.
Even high school.
Yeah.
I remember that application that we were doing, and I had a question about what I would put as like, I think it was like it was international something. And I asked my teacher, he's like, I don't know. Now it's like, please. I
Yeah.
get it. It might be hard because you don't have those resources, but what makes you think I have those resources? And I remember that was just very tough.
And it's it's discouraging too. And it's scary because it's like, oh my God, like if this is what I'm dealing with right now, ¿cómo me va a ir in college? You know what I'm saying?
Where you have to like pay.
Yeah, and like in college, I'm an education major, like Luis said, and you know, a lot of it comes from a social justice lens. Like the curriculum is very strongly focused on social justice, which is good. It's good that, you know, that they're teaching future educators to go in with the social justice lens and like, you know, being proactive about it all. Pero coming from somebody who has lived through what is in the curriculum, like with what they're talking about, like it's so hard to sit there and just like listen to class discussions going on. I actually like found a poem during my time in, I think it was last year. It's titled Ethnic Studies by Teresa Siagatono. And the poem basically talks about how like expresses these feelings of like an ethnic studies course, where a non-white student is sitting in the classroom listening to what is going on, and they've lived through, like those are their lived experiences versus their white peers who just get to learn about it, like just have the privilege to close a textbook at the end of the class and like not think about it. But as somebody who has lived through that or whatever, it's very like traumatic, you know, very like trauma inducing to just have to sit through your courses and like hear and, you know, like teach your peers to be nice people towards people like you. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
I don't see, like, usually when that happens, because I have a class like that, it's communications class, and we talk about culture and how, like, that's a big thing. But then they, like you said, they close the book and there's, like, no action. And then you're just like, what's next then? Like, you're the one that needs this. Mm-hmm. I think definitely in my college experience, I've noticed that. And I'm a biology major, and so I look around specifically my STEM classes, and it's only a handful of us. Mm-hmm. And one thing that I look back and I'm like, wow, that I want to see a change is that the teachers are they're white, predominantly white. And only the teachers of color took their time to actually get to know us, like one by one. Like when my first professor remembered my name, I was like, wow, that made me feel so seen. And I was like, wow. And it just took her a second, right, to just come to me and just like tell me like, hey, how are you in the course? How do you feel? Type of thing. And I'm like, oh, wow, I needed that type of thing. I don't know. That also comes back to like imposter syndrome, right? In college. It's hard.
For us, since we're engineering, it's kind of like we don't get to do that much discussions and all that. It's mainly just, math and science. But I remember there is this one teacher that he does like one-on-ones, to make sure, you're to know how you're doing on the class and all that, and like pretty much like how your rest of your 4-year plan is gonna go, which was really nice. I found it really useful. But other than that, at least in my case, there's not much socializing inside of class.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. So, like Jair was saying, like, well, first of all, there isn't even that many like Latino kids. Like, it was basically just me, Jair, and then another friend. Shouts out to Jordy. But what's it called? Like Jair was saying, like, basically it's engineering classes. So like, what are we even like? Why would we even bring that up? Is basically like the energy, and students, like we're all just mainly like focused on the courses and stuff like that. But at least in like my case, like, or like, being like, students, non-white students, like going through our own struggles and stuff like that. To me at least, it's definitely been like a Like, why not? Like, why not bring that up or something like that? Because it is different. Like, our journey is different and our experiences are different than, like other students, I guess. And like Jair was mentioning, there are some professors that really care, Shouts out to Dr. Kim. That's who you're talking about?
Mhm.
Okay, yeah, cool. Okay. At least in my experience as being like undocumented and going to and being an undergrad student, it's definitely been like really hard to like, especially like now, like that I'm like about to graduate, especially in the fact that I can't get a job without a social security number. And especially in like a field like mechanical engineering, that's like, so far to me, from what I've looked at, is impossible to do that, to get a job without, that. And, but in my journey, like, I've looked for help. So I've talked to counselors, I've talked to, teachers and other students, maybe upperclassmen and stuff like that. Even students that graduated already. What's it called? And a lot of what I found was confusion. Just, I don't even know what that is. Or like, you know what? Like, we don't really deal with that and stuff like that. Or like, we've never really dealt with that. And I'm like, I know I'm not the first nor the last undocumented student that's going to walk through these doors and ask for help. So it's definitely been like a struggle, at least for me personally. And just to like look for resources to help that can help me. There's been a lot of help from like professors and stuff like that understand it, and they've like actually like let me work under them and stuff like that. But the overall is always been like, every time I'm looking for help, I just leave with more like they're just confused. So like I have to catch them up to like what I'm going through. And then even then it's like I have to help them help me, I guess. When that's not the case for other students that are just like looking like that, look for a different kind of help and stuff like that. Yeah. I forgot what I was going to say. But oh, right. Okay, yeah. I don't know, just not to keep rambling, but what's it called? Like I'm kind of like left in like a state of like I'm mad at them, but at the same time I'm not, but at the same time I should be. And I'm kind of always left in like that kind of state of like bro, like you should know this though.
It's like your job.
It's your job to know this, and and I'm not gonna be the first nor the last. So it's like I want you to know this. Like I need you to know this, not just for me, but for another student. And like I know other students that are, younger than me that are like starting the program and that they're also undocumented. It's just like I worry about them. I think about them. I'm already about to graduate, so. But like I'm like, what are they going like? They're gonna go and ask you the same things, or like they're asking me for help, and I'm trying to give them like everything I know now. But like it's like, dude, there's got to be a change. Yeah, I don't know. What do you guys?
No, yeah, I would say my experience in high school has been similar to that, in which like I've gone to teachers who claim to be there for the students and whose whole role is to support students in that transition between high school and college, but they don't understand the differences between an undocumented student and the different processes that they have to take. I remember going to a teacher and asking them like, oh, how do I fill out WASFA? And he's like, oh, what's that? It's like, your whole role is to help students make that transition, and you're not aware of those circumstances. And it's, again, like you said, it's very discouraging, because if you aren't able to help me, then who is? And I like what you mentioned, Luis, that like they should be well versed in this, because there are a lot of resources. Attend a workshop. There are a lot of workshops dedicated to helping teachers or educational professors be able to help those students who are different and who are under different circumstances, such as being undocumented. And it's just like if you truly care about the students, take that next step and educate yourself.
Because it's one thing to like even kind of like promote it, that like, you know, that we help our, and this goes for like anywhere, even outside of the education sector, like, oh, we like support and our, you know, our diverse community or whatever. But then when it comes to it, like, actually, you just want us as tokens. Like, you don't really support us. You just see it as because it makes you look good.
They just want the diversity.
Yeah.
The diversity inclusion.
Yeah.
And I think it's more upsetting as students that, you know, because, like, I feel like it's like we are deserving of the same help as other students. You know what I mean?
No, yeah. Outside of like those kind of like, I guess, legal troubles that we go through, like just, you know, our life or like our cultural differences from other students also play a big role on how we perform in school. You know, like one of those things that I was talking to with our professor was about, or that we were talking with, that like he wanted to know and I wanted to know, or like and then I was telling him like, was like, what does like life look like for like Latino students in like higher education? And I mean, I could only speak for myself when I was telling him that it's like, you know, like coming from like, you know, immigrant households and stuff like that, not even just for Latinos, just for like, you know, not to generalize, you know what I mean? But like it's hard. Like, you know, we don't just have, it's not just like go home and focus on school sometimes. Sometimes it's like go home and work. Sometimes it's like go home and like take care of your family. Sometimes it's go home and cook. Sometimes it's do errands, or like, you know, like at least in I know for example, for in the case of like my brother or something, like my brother had to like go to work with my parents since like high school, you know? And so he still had to go to school and stuff like that. And like, you know, I mean, that's how I put him on blast, but like his grades like really fell because of that, like in part because of like all that time he spent working with my parents. So it's like, you know, you gotta give like at the very least, like try to understand the differences that we go through, that we have, I guess, as just people. You know, like, yeah, when I was telling that professor that, he was like, you know, very understanding, and at least he was like trying to like see like to understand like why some of those students were like more quiet, or why those students like wanted to just get out as soon as possible. I'm like, bro, like, you know, it's not easy. Like, you know, sometimes they have little siblings to take care of. Sometimes they need to take their parents to appointments.
Kids. Some
Kids. Some are parents. Just like some have to work. Like some have to help pay for like a house. Some have to go send money back to like their countries and stuff like that. You know, just all those kinds of struggles that other students honestly just don't go through. That I guess us as like, you know, immigrants coming from immigrant households go through. I don't know. You know, yeah, that's kind of like life, the duties and stuff, and how we balance it. Yeah, I don't know. What do you guys? What are your thoughts on that?
I think a lot of students would kind of relate to that, regardless of their status, because a lot of students do have more than just school to focus on. But I think it is different when you're undocumented, because you're constantly living in a state of what if. You know, like, what if one day I don't know, I can't think of anything right now, but like you're constantly living in a like an unsure state of like, what's my next step, or like what will be my next step. and you're always grinding because you know that this is all you got. And if you aren't the best at it, then what else do you have? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like we end up putting like a lot of pressure on ourselves.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's also where like imposter syndrome comes in,
Yeah.
right? Because like, yeah, you're in a group with other students and they might already have their life. Like they know what they're going to do after graduation. I specifically remember, right? I'm having a conversation with this other person in a classroom and she's like, oh, you're graduating this year. And I was like, yeah. She's like, oh, congratulations. What are you going to do after? And it's like, girl, I don't even know. I'm undocumented. I graduated with a bio degree. But like low-key, I don't know what to do with the bio degree. My goal was to be nursing and like work in the healthcare field, but like I don't know what my next steps are, right? I'm gonna look for those resources, but right now it's like how you said, what if like I don't know. I'm in a place where it's uncertain, and I'm like, damn, did I just waste like 4 years like with this career or this degree that might not be useful type of thing? And so sometimes like I'll have those thoughts in classrooms, and I'm like, do I really like belong in these classrooms where like with these students type of thing? And it's very, I don't know, like it's a weird feeling having those, especially like when you're working so hard towards it as well, you know? Yeah, I remember she was like, yeah, well, I didn't know what my next steps are, but I think I already have a job lined up though. But I'm still gonna stay a year here, and I'm like, oh, good for you, good thing you know that. But that just made me feel discouraged, and like again, I'm like, damn, do I really? Is this where I belong type of thing? And I feel like a lot of students go through that. They don't know what their next steps are and stuff like that. Imposter syndrome like really hits home for a lot of students, especially undocumented, especially like immigrant students.
Yeah.
And it's upsetting that something out of your control makes or breaks your future.
Yeah. For sure.
Like like I began college being undocumented, and then I got DACA, and then that's the only reason after I graduate, like I know that I can fall into my DACA because it's giving me a privilege that your peers who like have never even thought about anything like that, they don't see it as a privilege because they've never lived in a moment of time where they've never had that.
Exactly, yeah.
So
I think imposter syndrome is like one of the biggest things that I've probably dealt with in like my college, career or journey. I don't have DACA. There's no shot. There's no shot I'm getting DACA probably. Only chance for me to get like to like become a citizen is through like marriage and stuff like that. And so it's like, going to school and stuff like that, especially now that we're like, upperclassmen or like about to graduate, like, it seems like all my peers have jobs lined up. We're talking about jobs and like stuff, and they're like, so what are you gonna do? And I'm like, oh, I'm just looking. And because another thing is like, like I don't know what to say a lot of times. And like a lot of times I always felt like, like maybe I don't belong here. I'm like, and like one of the questions that I always have to myself is like I wish I could ask them, like, if you were in my position, would you have gone to college? Like, that's something I think about. I don't know why I always think about asking somebody that question. Like, would you have done it? Because I guess a part of me maybe thinks like, damn, like, bro, like I just wasted my time. Like I just wasted, like, I could have gone to it. I could have done something else, something that would have gotten me money right away. But, I'm here in like, because I believe in education. I believe in that wherever I go, nobody can take that away from me. And I am proud. I'm obviously proud, the imposter syndrome, don't take nothing out of like me being proud of what I've done. But it's definitely like a struggle, especially now. Again, like I was saying about like, peers asking you, what are you going to do? And at least in my case, I don't even know what to say to them. I'm like, like sometimes I just lie to them. No shade, like no disrespect, but like I'm just like, you're not gonna get it, bro. Like you're not gonna get it. Like we talk about it because we get it and we get it like within ourselves and stuff like that. But like what good does it it doesn't bring me any good, like, to like bring it up, I guess. So I definitely relate to that end.
I don't know about you guys, but I know when I began college, I was like, I don't want anybody to know that like this is my status because like we mentioned in college, like, okay, wait, rewind. We came from like a high school that was so diverse. Like there was like every single day, it was we saw a lot of people that looked like us and that like and then
shout out to Fort.
And then when we went to college, like obviously it's a bigger place. There's gonna be a different pool of people, and I was like, this is nothing. This is nothing compared to like high school. And, like, you don't know how people will react when you tell them something so personal like that. And so I know I was like, I'm going to keep this. Like, I'm not going, like, I don't think I want to reveal this part of myself to people because I'm scared of them being mean and racist or judgmental, because, I mean, some people are ignorant and ignorance is bliss. So.
Yeah. Luego se nota. They're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
shoot, I messed up. Like, why did I say that? Wait,
Yeah.
why did I just say
It's hard, hiding a part of yourself that is actually very monumental.
I think for me, I've never hid my immigrant status from like my classmates just because I think it's the only way for them to understand why I have such high expectations for myself. I'm always like, I'm an academic weapon, but I feel like it's not by choice. I feel like I have to be because when you're undocumented, at least in my perspective or my experience, if you're undocumented, you have to be 100 times better than everyone else. You have to push yourself 10 times harder. You have to just be the best that you can so that someone who isn't undocumented takes you into account or views you somewhat of their equal. And so for me, high school has always been, like push yourself, do your best, 4.0 GPA, like you have to be the best, you have to be at the top. And for like my group of friends, it's always been like, why do you push yourself so hard? Why are you like having so many like late night studying sessions where like why do you get so little sleep? Why do you do this? Why do you do that? And it's like, you guys just don't understand because you guys don't have to have that fear of not being acknowledged or not being taken into account. You don't have that. You just won't get it. And maybe they come from a place of good when they say, but like, you'll be fine. But like, they don't understand that feeling of worry that you have that like, oh, no, if I like let a grade slip, my scholarships will be gone. Because again, there's just so much pressure placed upon undocumented students in being the best. And good for them that they don't have to experience that, I guess. Like, good for you. Enjoy college, enjoy high school. But for us, it's just a little different, a little harder. And yeah, it's just try to understand that a little bit better.
I guess for like imposter syndrome for me, I'm not the best student. And like, I don't know, I've always like kind of struggled in college because like I see everyone else be able to get it. And then me, I'm like, I don't know what to do. Like this stuff is hard. Like I studied like hours on hours like for like tests and stuff. But like, my grades don't reflect it. So I've always kind of felt like just like, I guess discouraged. I mean, but it hasn't gotten to me like, oh, I should give up. I should like drop out or nothing. But, I'm still working towards it. It's getting better.
Getting better, huh? Getting better, huh? There you go.
Oh, it's a hard balance too, with the grades. it's so hard, especially because grades are like something that grades put a lot of pressure, and grades are held to a certain standard, but then the system is just, it's wackadoodle. And even though this whole conversation probably sounded really negative, we swear that I would say we all love learning. Like, we're just like lifelong learners. And como Luis dijo hace ratito, education is something that nobody will ever take away from you. Like, this time spent in college or even just any sort of learning space is so valuable, because it's like new knowledge that you've gained, and nobody will take that from you. And it gives you new perspectives. It gives you an opportunity to like learn and see and understand different ideas. And it's just like, it's such a valuable thing. And I know right now on TikTok, there's like a trend of like dropouts and, not graduating high school and all of that, because high school is a waste of time. Pero, it's true what your parents say, like, la educación nunca nadie te la va a quitar, like, ever. Like, finish high school, get that diploma, and whether you want to go to college, whether you want to do a trade, whether you just want to work, it doesn't matter. Like, but please, like, finish high school, because that is such like a monumental and kind of like life altering moment of like you, because you're so young still and you want to learn,
And it's also like an entry level thing to like whatever else you want to do in life.
Yeah, like, even if you see it as a waste of time, I think you have to shift your perspective a little bit, because whether you learn something in class or not, you definitely did learn something out of class, like with your friends, that you see every day at school, or in the hallways, or like, I don't know, in the assemblies. Like, learning doesn't only take place when you're sitting down and listening to a teacher.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah, there's like the different types of learning styles.
It's like
and all
the
that.
whole experience as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Actually, and just to add, like, didn't want to make it sound like I was like regretting going to college, because like you're saying, I definitely, I'm so happy I've made it this far. I'm so happy for the people I've made, my peers, all of them, just the people I've met, the connections, the professors, the advisors, like everything about that has just been such like a beautiful journey. And honestly, like, I'm sad that it's over. I'm sad that we're about to graduate. Like, talking to like my classmates and stuff like that, I'm like, damn, like, especially in the engineering major, like, you're kind of stuck with the same people. I mean, yeah, mostly the same people. And like, you're like, damn, like, you're all gonna go get jobs, like, we're all gonna become adults, and like we're not gonna see each other because we're like all engineers and we're all antisocial. And I'm just kidding. But we're all awkward and weird, and like, like, it's gonna suck, like, not seeing them, and I'm gonna be so sad. But I'm like so happy that I was able to get this far, and that I took a chance, and that now I have a degree that I can fall back on. And like, just because of my status right now today, it doesn't determine like my tomorrow. Like, it's like, don't think I'm giving up on like anything, and because I already, like, how you were talking about like how kind of being like feeling like maybe it wasn't worth it, or like maybe like feeling like I've definitely reached like some points in during the thing where I was like, bro, like, what am I working towards? Like, but even then, like, I told myself like it's all gonna work out. I have a lot of faith that it's all gonna work out. Like, it'll be all right. Like, it'll just be all right. Like, that's it, period. Like, so, whether you want to go to college or not, like, you never stop learning, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Like you never stop. You never stop learning, and no matter what path you want to take, like, as long as like you keep that energy, I guess. Like, I don't know. You can't go wrong with it. Yeah. I don't know.
And like us before college, completely different from us now that we're coming to an end.
Yeah, there's definitely like a lot of growth that has happened, I would say.
Yeah, with like any
With
new
all of
experience,
us.
you know?
Yeah, it's definitely been something. It's been something. And it's like we even go to like, it's not like we even got like the college experience,
Yeah,
because like
true.
WCU is such a small campus, but even then, like we've been able to, like we've had like really fun times, and wouldn't trade that for anything. So
Well, even like if you're in high school, there are some like opportunities for you to go meet these like colleges. Like shout out to the Cash Conference, but we were able to go to Pullman and then campus, and I think that was like our first like real experience there, and we really enjoyed that.
yeah,
That
shout
was
out to the Cash Conference for sure.
Yeah,
It was like our first
3-day.
Yeah, it was like a weekend type of thing. And it was our first time being at like
Yeah.
a really big college and like spending some time there and meeting other college students.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
remember
it was
after
so
that trip,
fun.
you were like, "Let's go here," and I was like, "Wait, let's get rid
Yeah,
of
it
dorm
was
together."
so fun.
It didn't happen, but one day. But we got the experience, right? And yeah, like we're not shitting like on college and everything. But there are those experiences, those positive experiences that you can get even in high school. I mean, like literally the Cash Conference. We went to another one at Central too. But yeah, I think the most memorable one was the Cash, because we got to see the campus. A lot of them, the students that went, actually got admitted there the day of, so that was very exciting too. I still follow my group because you get a group, and so I still follow them. Some did actually go to Pullman.
Yeah,
And I'm
same.
like, me too, but aquí in Vancouver. But yeah.
Yeah, God, just like the education journey as a whole is so hard. It's so difficult, and even more when resources for you are like so limited and sometimes not accessible. So I think seeking out and like reaching out for help or support from like hint Latino Leadership Northwest, LNW too, just help you with and give you guidance with whatever you need.
Yeah.
So we want to leave you guys with that positive note. As always, thank you guys for listening to today's episode. You guys are all very beautiful and smart, and we are so thankful that you guys tune in.
Congratulations, class of 2024.
Congrats.
High school and college.
High school and college. Thank you guys. It would mean the world if you guys shared, liked, drop an emoji, maybe a clapping emoji.
Congratulate a student that graduated this year.
Yeah,
Drop
give
a name.
Give a shout out to a graduating student in our comments.
Y'all can drop my name if you want.
Drop our names. And, keep learning. Like we just said, we're all life learners. So keep learning along with us. Keep killing it out there. And keep being the best version of you guys. Thank you.
For sure.
Until next time.
Peace out.
This episode was brought to you by Latino Leadership Northwest and funded by Enitai Foundation.